just gushing over the Xbox showcase that aired just a few days ago. A note on that. We were able to live stream the PlayStation one just because like the timing worked out. Yeah. Would have loved to have live streamed this one with you because I think our reactions would have been like like positive and fun.
Initially, and then by hour 2, maybe I would have been like falling asleep on your shoulder from just sheer exhaustion.
I would have walked out as I did, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, it just sometimes like we'll try to do that when we can. But like at the end of the day, we're both old dudes who have got shit to do. So the Sony one worked out. This one didn't this time, but who knows? Next one might be a different story. So the games we just wrapped up talking about were I loved Fable. I think we loved Fable, but I'll just say that for you.
Thank you.
And then your Hellblade 2 is your big game, and then we were talking
Skyline.
Cities 2.
Yeah.
I think we are in lockstep on all of this stuff. Hellblade 2, the trailer I thought was so stupid, but I'm totally down to give that game a try because it is in my wheelhouse for sure. So the next game that I want to talk about that they debuted there, and I don't think it's exclusive, but the original one of this game was exclusive for a year, and it's Like a Dragon, which is an extension of the.
I should have just predicted.
Yeah, obviously. Come on. Yeah. I mean, like, so that series, which I think Sega has now officially changed the name of, because I bought the newest one, which is set in like late samurai era Japan. It's called I think it's called Izen or Ishizen. It's over there somewhere. Anyway,
so they're no longer. Are they getting rid of the Roman numerals and the?
No, well, so the series of these games was Yakuza, and it was since like 2005 when they debuted on PlayStation 2. But I think in the Japanese name translated into English was always Like a Dragon. It's like Ryugo Gokuta, I think is the Japanese name.
That was a great accent.
Well, thank you. I've been there twice, Uncle Bob. Can you imagine that? A giant white guy, video game nerd, go to Japan? Who'd have thought? But so I love that series. It's probably, in terms of modern video games, I would safely say it's my favorite series. It is a direct descendant of Shenmue. So I mean,
that was when you got your Xbox Series X, I specifically remember you bought that game, and I think it was the only game that you actually purchased.
Dude, so I got Game Pass and that game, and really what pushed me over there was two things that made me want to get an Xbox versus the PS5 at launch.
Oh, sorry, that game being the Yakuza 5 or 6?
No, that's just called Like a Dragon. Oh, well, that's it. So that game wasn't. I didn't even know that it was coming out on PS5. If it was, who knows? I may not have gotten that Xbox when I did. But that was a big motivator for me to go with the Xbox over the PS5 initially, just because I love that series and it was a launch game. So what's unique about this particular, so to kind of break this down to a non-fan such as yourself, because I mean I know you would love these games, but you just have to. It's a really long series, and you have to devote a lot of time to it.
I'll play them right after Wind Waker.
Oh yeah, and Elden Ring, and the new Zelda, and every gigantic, huge game that for some reason a rain cloud pours over you and you can't play them.
This is a gaming show, right? Where I'm supposed to play video games and we're supposed to talk about them.
Yeah, and you're like, World of Warcraft was really good for a long time.
Can we do 37 episodes on World of Warcraft just back to back to back?
Yeah, why not? I mean, there's an audience for it.
I look forward to your Mario Paint graphics.
Yes, I'm gonna give it my all. And real quick, just on this part. How about that Xbox show, huh? So Like a Dragon is like an offshoot of like the standard series. So the standard series is like a role-playing game, but all the combat is like a brawler. So like imagine a Final Fight or a Double Dragon, but in 3D. And then that series evolved to like have you play as different characters. The big standouts to that series to me has always been the characters and the story. As you know, it's funny. A couple episodes ago, I talked about how. Like I don't really give all that much of a shit about stories in video games. Yeah. Well, here's a series that would make me eat crow on that, because that's like one of the main attractions to me about the Yakuza series is the storytelling.
Didn't you tell me that the map, the city in that game is like the same city in every game?
Yeah. So, dude, they do expand. They expand the game by giving you access to different cities, but like the main city, which is Kamurocho, is the same core map that it's been since the PS2.
Wow.
And it's like if you're a fan of these games and you've played them for as long as I have, like you can just get around that town.
You just
know where to go.
And isn't or maybe it's different, but that other series of games, Judgment,
Yeah.
Is that's not the same map, or it is the same?
It's the same map.
That's incredible.
It's so the Judgment. There's 2 games in that series that also like take place in Kamurocho, but then again it's expanded. They have in Judgment, I think the first one, there's 2 cities you go in, and I think the sequel, which is called Lost Judgment, there's a 3rd city that you can also visit. Yeah. But everything always ties back to Kamurocho, which is like a kind of it's like a fake version of Tokyo. Yeah. But so they have half of the series is brawling games, like a brawling RPG, and then this newer series is more of like a traditional turn-based Japanese role-playing game. So same kind of Final Fantasy-esque character progression, go out, random battles, all that stuff, but it has just this totally off the wall, and you see it in this trailer for the new one, just a totally off the wall sense of humor. But like, so the game takes itself, at times it takes itself very seriously, like a crime drama, and then all of a sudden it just goes completely wacky, and you'll do a move where you throw a lobster with a chef's hat at an enemy and do great damage with them.
Well, the trailer was pretty wacky. I'll give you that. So maybe you can explain that to me.
The trailer starts with the main character of that series, and he is completely nude and it was washed up on a beach. And this is where I think it's exciting, because I don't, just based on what I've seen from that trailer so far, I think, and I hope I am not wrong on this, but I think that the game is going to take place in America, because like he goes onto the beach and all of a sudden there's a lot of Western looking people speaking English with English subtitles underneath it, or sorry, Japanese subtitles underneath it, I think. But anyway, like that, if that's the way the series goes, that'd be awesome, because that's something that they've never done before.
Yeah, somebody yells like "Surfs Up, dude" or something like that.
And there's like a blue-eyed blonde where they do like a super tight shot of her face and her eyes to show you like, this is a blue-eyed blonde, guys. Like that's what this is. Which that's totally like a Japanese studio thing to do.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's in Germany.
It could be, and I'll if those beaches of Berlin that they're so famous for,
Scandinavia,
yeah. Like frozen ass water.
We're in Oslo.
Yeah. Let's go check out Sweet Metal. But that one, I know I'm there on day one, and I know that game is not going to let me down. That series has never let me down. Actually, Lost Judgment kind of let me down a little bit.
I was going to say, I know the reviews for that aren't bad.
Yeah, that one is the only one where like you really have to like suspend your disbelief to be able to swallow that story. It's really preposterous. Like I'll spare you the details, but like in a series that, if you count those and you count the Like a Dragons and all the Yakuza games, like pound for pound, it's just airtight in terms of storytelling and like keeping you invested in the characters. But that one game, like it's everything about it is good in terms of the gameplay and what you're used to and all the mini games and all the side quests and the stuff that fans of the series go for. But like the main story of that thing is just nope. I like by the end of that game, my face was tired from rolling my eyes so much, which sucked. But at the same time, I still played it and beat it. And it's got Sega Master System games in it, so there's that saving grace. So that one for me definitely is the other big one. If Fable was 1A, this one's 1B for me, and I popped huge when it came on the screen. I was like, yes,
I bet you did.
Yeah, we're doing it. So I'll toss the ball back to you. What's the next big game that got you jazzed up?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick hit and then a longer thing. The quick hitter is I think it's called Clockwork Revolution. Mm-hmm. And it looks basically like a BioShock game.
So this game is right now like getting the shit beat out of it online because it looks so much like BioShock Infinite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I actually didn't BioShock Infinite was fine-ish. I'd give it like an 80, something like that.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
But that was 10 years ago. So
yeah.
I would like to have a little more BioShock in my life. Do you know, I think it said this is by In Exile Entertainment.
Yes, yeah.
That's not the thing that Ken Levine started up after he left.
In Exile is famous for the Bard's Tale series and then a bunch of other like weird PC adjacent games that I've played none of. I think I played the original Xbox Bard's Tale and that was it.
So if it just is a BioShock Infinite clone, that's fine. It's been 10 years. I could use more of that in my life.
So I think it was one of the main artists who worked on BioShock Infinite, like did a side by side, like online. He put up a trailer.
And it's identical.
And it's just like, come on, guys, and it is pretty bad. But In Exile has come out and said that like they get it, they understand like what people are seeing, but they wanted to stress that their game is more of like a full blown RPG, whereas Infinite was like a very linear narrative
Yeah.
game that have very light RPG elements.
As one of the most frustrating things about BioShock Infinite is that they give you allusions to the world around you without letting you actually explore very much of that world.
Right.
So, okay, well, hopefully it's a total marketing failure then if people are making or speaking derisively about it.
Yeah, so the
that.
first thing that I thought of when they showed the world was like, oh, they remastered BioShock Infinite, but then as the trailer went on, and it was like, oh no, this isn't that. And then to me, like I was kind of hit with that, like initially, just like this is really, really, really similar. But then when the artist dude like came out and complained, like, come on, like then it's like okay, but I'm with you though. Like I still think that it could be a pretty neat game. I think that the setting and the tone, like it's so hard to not think of BioShock Infinite because like it just did all of this stuff. But at the same time, there isn't a lot of other things out there that do this like sky, steampunk style or whatever you want to call this thing.
Oh, that's the other thing too. I'm an absolute steampunk whore.
Okay. Hooer.
Yeah. It is my preferred genre. And I punk anything really. Cyberpunk I'm really into also.
Yeah.
And it's like there's usually a failure of execution. People talk a good game and then they fail to execute on these ideas. So maybe this will be different. But I saw it and I'm like, okay, it looks pretty cool. I definitely want to check it out at least.
How'd you feel? How did you feel about that? Their date reveal.
Oh, I don't know. What's the date reveal?
The date reveal said no. It said
due
out in due time.
Yeah, because it's time based.
Yeah.
They're trying to be snarky, and it's infuriating. Like it always is.
Infuriating. Yeah,
it's like just people will come around on this. Maybe we'll plant our flag like this, like you did on Metroid Likes.
Yeah.
Do not announce games unless you have a specific date to announce with the friggin' game.
Yeah.
Don't tell me 2026.
Honestly.
I want to hear 2024 even.
Yeah.
I will grudgingly, if it's a AAA game and it's like an Elden Ring or something, you want to tell me first half 2024. Okay, I'll go along with it.
Yeah.
For certain types of
games. I was literally just gonna say like and I don't care. Give me a window, that's fine. And I do not care at all if you delay your game. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
So like just lie to me. Just lie to me.
We're coming second half of 2023.
Yeah.
And the designers are like, we got this for 2025, guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, well that's a cyberpunk difference.
Yeah, that is the cyber. Let's just get this out now and oh no.
Yeah.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy. Back with another video. So the doctor said first and foremost, the doctor says that if nothing's broken, I had what's called a cervical spinal contusion, and I had just a tiny rupture in one of the discs, and they said that it would cost close to $320,000 to repair the damage. And I said, no worries, bro. If I get like a second job, well, right now, like I'm a collector. That's my main job, Frank. In addition to obviously reviewing laser discs for the Laserdisc fam, whoop. Also, I want to apologize. My camera work isn't going to be as good because it's hard for me to reach the other buttons, the effects ones. Here, I'll try it. Here we go. Wait. Here we go. Woo! Okay, that's probably the only one I'll be able to do. Today we're going to talk about another fucking kick-ass, badass movie on Laserdisc. It's Highlander 2, The Quickening, starring Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. Christopher Lambert, of course, played McLeod in the original Highlander movie. This is part 2, The Quickening, and I don't exactly know what The Quickening is really all about, but they did like mention in the movie it's like magic, but from another planet, which I don't remember any alien stuff in Highlander 1, but obviously, to be fair, I only have Highlander 2, The Quickening on Laserdisc, so... I mean, if any member of the Laserdisc fam out there has a copy of Highlander 1 that they want to get reviewed by a pro, you know your boy. Like and subscribe.
Okay, and the other game that I want to talk about is Avowed. Okay, so Avowed is from Obsidian Entertainment. Okay, they've been developers of beloved role-playing games for like 20 years.
I would say they made the most beloved Fallout game, Fallout New Vegas, which is kind of plagued with terrible bugs, but people love that game. I never played any of those Fallout games for more than 2 hours because
Right.
Western RPGs. But
The theme of the episode.
Yes, but the one that I did play of theirs that I loved is a game called Alpha Protocol, and it's a criminally undervalued, underrated game. It is loaded with jankiness and bugs, but it's one of those games where it makes the experience fun for whatever reason. But imagine if it's like a Metal Gear Solid Splinter Cell type game that is also an RPG where all your stats, like like an RPG, you can get sneakier, you can grow to be sneakier, which makes the game more fun. But yeah, Obsidian's the real deal, and people love them.
And they cut their teeth doing Neverwinter Nights 2 and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 in the early aughts. And then they did Pillars of Eternity. That was an original IP from them. And then the sequel to Pillars of Eternity. Those are Baldur's Gate-esque.
You've played both of those, right?
I have, but no, the original Pillars of Eternity
got it.
only, not the sequel. But they're great. And the storytelling in all of those games, the games you mentioned, the games I mentioned, is fantastic. And now they're doing what looks like a 3D, fully formed Western RPG. And the pedigree of the developer makes me kind of excited about it. It looked good also. I always get a little bit nervous when developers get outside their comfort zone. This is obviously a departure from what they were doing with Pillars of Eternity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But because of their storytelling chops, because they've been around for so long, I'm pretty excited about this one. So Avowed, that's on the list too.
So I remember that trailer, and that was another one where I tuned out. That game's not for me. It's got all the things I don't like. It's high fantasy.
Yes.
It's
a Western RPG.
It's a Western RPG. But I'll say this: if I haven't already said it on this part, I'll say it now, and I'll probably say it again. If this is going to be on Game Pass, and I'll try it. So that's a key thing for me. Like a lot of these games that wouldn't normally be my cup of tea, the Game Pass difference is that I will try them. And who knows, this game that looks to me to be like a banal, not for me kind of pay by the numbers thing, it might hook me. You never know.
Well, there's another Western RPG that was announced at the show that will be available day one on Game Pass. A little ditty called Starfield.
Okay.
Are you going to check that one out?
No. Maybe. No. Maybe. So, do you want to get into Starfield now? Do you want to talk about that? Okay.
I think now's the time.
So, like anyone else who plays video games, like you can't help but hear about this game. When this trailer started, they showed a trailer in the main meat of the Xbox show, and then they told you to stay tuned. They're going to do like a long form thing. So and they use the word direct, which is that's my people's words. Nintendo is what I mean by that.
And long form ended up being 45 minutes.
Yeah, and so I started off watching that thing, and I made it about 10 minutes in because I just at that point I was tuckies and I wanted to move on, and I'm kind of semi interested in this game, kind of semi not. So like I said earlier in the last part, I did play a good chunk of Skyrim, never beat it, but I probably spent I would say 40, 50 hours in Skyrim when it first came out. And I've got a lot of great things to say about that game. But this to me is, it's an Elder Scrolls game. It's one of those games, but it's set in space. Yeah. And I wasn't the biggest fan I enjoy watching my son play No Man's Sky because he loves it, but I don't really like No Man's Sky that much. But I will say initially when they first started showing this game, to me, it was just they're just ripping off No Man's Sky. That's what it looked like. But I will say what they've shown now is breaking that away from the pack. So my view is it's on Game Pass. I'll give it a shot. I did enjoy Skyrim. So it might be, and I don't hate space for the record. I do not hate space. But I think this is a game that I'm probably most likely going to tune out of, which, I understand that I'm building a bias towards the thing before it comes out. But yeah, it's just not, I think I texted you, like, my exact words were like, wow, Starfield looks great for people who are going to like Starfield, but like I don't think I give one fuck about it. So, but you take it away. Try to sell me. Just for funsies, try to sell me.
Okay, I care about it a moderate amount.
Okay.
I care about it enough that I'm going to be checking it out on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if I'm going to beat it. It's definitely not. I'm not as hyped for it as many of the other games that have come out that I haven't played.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look, I agree with you, it looks like No Man's Sky. It does look like there's a healthy dose of Mass Effect influences, Mass Effect 2 specifically, especially with the combat. It did look, if you watched all 45 minutes as I did, like they are really sort of blowing it out in terms of what you can do with a space RPG. So when I saw that there was like a ship in the game, I was like, oh, I wonder if there's going to be shipbuilding. Sure enough, there's shipbuilding, very, very extensive shipbuilding in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting to me. It's like, oh, okay. And then you can build your ship and then you can go inside your ship. That's sort of the promise that we got with, what's that scam game that we talk about sometimes?
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's like, well, this game.
That scam game.
Yeah.
What else is it? It's a scam.
Yeah. So this game is going to have that as well, except this game's actually going to come out.
Yeah.
And,
when is it going to come out?
September 6th,
Of what year?
2023.
That's one of the few. That's one of the actual a few big games that they gave a 2023 game or a 2023 release to.
But it's a big. Oh yeah, and before we end the episode, I have a. Give me 30 seconds to do a complaint, but we'll save it for the end.
Oh, if we're tacking on, I do want to say Path of the Goddess, that weirdo Capcom action game. I'm there. That game's for me. That game is for me.
We're tacking
It's
on.
It's got weird. It's got super weird art. It looks like an action game.
Yeah.
It's Capcom. It's all the boxes are checked. I'll be there. But
right.
Continue.
Back to Starfield.
Uh-huh.
The one thing I didn't like about the game is actually all the No Man's Sky part of it. I don't like games that make me feel like I'm doing something that I would do for a living.
Yeah, work.
So when they're saying like you can go and you can mine these minerals, the next thing that you should say is, and then you could take those minerals and you can build a hot tub out of them or
Right.
whatever you do.
I love that you went hot tub.
I mean, you know, a gold-plated hot tub with.
That'd be so cool.
You're in
space.
space.
You go to a planet, mine gold, build a gold hot tub.
A gold hot tub, yeah. Well, I'm thinking like,
now I'm sold.
you could have
did sell me.
a geyser spring, right?
Uh-huh.
Like they found water on some of the
Sure.
moons of the planets out there. This makes sense, Brian. This can work.
I follow.
This
I
can work.
follow.
Just because nobody's done it doesn't mean it can't be done.
You're right. So someone's got to take the first step.
Okay, so while you're sitting in your hot tub, at least then you would have something to do with the resources.
Right.
I don't like when they're just like, and you can get these resources. You better tell me what I can do with the resources to justify the work that is involved in acquiring them. And they didn't do that in the game. Also, the character customizations. I have a friend who really, really cares a lot about that. It's kind of cool that you can make your face look like any face in the spectrum of humanity. That's neat. It's not that neat to me. It didn't need a 5-minute segment on it.
It's no dong slider like in Cyberpunk, for the record. I mean, that's how you break new ground, okay? But continue with Starfield, if you can. I killed him. I'm sorry. I think I killed Uncle Bob again.
I like the idea that when everybody uses that, there's only one place you go to on that. So you don't really need a scale. It's like, who's going
to... Yes, I understand.
Yeah. No, I think I'm feeling like going to the left end of the scale.
Let's go micro.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's what this character's about.
Let's go full micro, yeah.
I'm trying to talk about Starfield.
Continue.
All right. The combat looked pretty good. I did like that. And then, and then here's another thing too. This game looks like it would be perfect for multiple people in it. You build this giant world, 1,000 planets, all this space to explore, and you're there just by yourself. Yes, there's NPCs, but nobody would ever. The AI isn't at the point yet where the NPCs can convince you that they're human. So you're just around. It's one thing if I'm going on a linear story like with Kratos or like in Last of Us or something like that, and it's like, okay, here's my character, and this is the story that the world is telling me. But if you're going to do an open world game with a giant map, and this is maybe the most giant map at all, and you're going to put me in it, I'm going to be very, very lonely wandering around talking to NPCs and doing all this stuff.
Yes.
And then there's no sort of like, it's sort of a weird thing to say about a video game, but like, there's no like legacy component to it. It's like I'm putting all this time in. You're going to want me to put hundreds and hundreds of hours in. And then when you're done, you just, okay, I guess we're going to go play Elder Scrolls 6 now.
Well, so I think, and what's funny is like, I believe traditionally, historically, whatever you want to call it, like that's how the Elder Scroll games are. Like they don't, your progress, it's not Mass Effect. Like your progress in one game does not carry over into another. And that is one of the things that really separated Mass Effect from the rest of these super chunky Western RPGs.
Yeah. All right. So that's a little bit of a letdown, but still overall, I would put my hype meter at a low 7. I'm going to say 7.2 on the hype meter. So
specific.
Very interested, but not like I'm not sleeping that night, bro.
Right.
When midnight comes, I'm hitting install.
Yeah. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah. I would give it I'm gonna give it a solid 6.1. I don't think
it's higher than I thought you'd give it. I thought you'd be in the 5s.
Well, no, here's why I'm gonna give it north of a 5. I want to play my Xbox. Like I actively want to play it. Like I use my Xbox right now as my like media streaming box, and kind of that's it. Or I'll play R-Type Final 2 for like another 8,000 hours. But other than that, like I really started off super strong with the Xbox, and then more Switch games came out, more PS5 games came out, more old crap that I wanted to devote my time to came out, and like there's really this. It's been fucking years since like there was like Hi-Fi Rush was a reason for me to be excited about Xbox.
Yeah.
And I love that game, and it lasted 6 hours. And so like
6 hours over 2.5 years.
Yeah. And so like I want justification for spending $500 on this box. And like if nothing else, if Starfield isn't for me, like it's Game Pass, so like I can try it and maybe it hooks me. You never know.
The only commitment is time.
Yeah, that's it. So, is there any other, maybe we should do a couple minutes on the other shows that you watched that I did not watch.
Sure. So real quick, there was a PC Gamer show that I just sort of happened across, and it was sponsored by PC Gamer Magazine. And
wait, PC Gamer Magazine still around?
Apparently around and hosting shows.
That's neat.
I don't know if the magazine is around, but at least there's a website saying it's PC Gamer.
So statute of limitations is up on this, but, Daddy used to shoplift those demo CDs.
Oh, don't do it, Brian. Brian, attorney-client privilege. Attorney-client privilege.
That was my favorite thing to do at Stater Brothers, was to do that.
I think we talked about this on another episode, but I paid for those CDs that you were shoplifting, and it still felt like I was committing a crime because you got so much content. Yeah. 30 game demos for just the price of a magazine.
I remember one. This might be a manufactured memory, so forgive me, but I want to say this happened. But one of those demos, we're talking like 94, 95. The game. So the company accidentally, instead of a demo, they put their gold version of a full game on one of those CDs, and they pressed the CD, and it was out with magazines. And if you got it, you got a whole free PC game from it, and it was like this thing. It was a total boner. Again, that could be a manufactured memories, but I'm almost positive that happened.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So anyway, so they did an event that was hosted by a famous StarCraft player, maybe the best American-born StarCraft player ever, Day 9, Sean Day 9 Plot. And it had like 50 freaking games in it. It was 2.5 hours, and it was right after the Microsoft reveal. So you literally got close to 6 hours, over 5 hours of video game reveals. There was like 50 reveals or something in one day. It was unbelievable. And then the Ubisoft reveal thing happened the next day. And then, as we're recording this today, Microsoft did an extra reveal session where they went into more detail on the games that they revealed on Sunday.
Oh, man.
So it's just like, who needs E3? We've got like 30 hours of internet content.
And from the comfort of our own, I could watch all those in my underwear with no socks on. Yeah. And that's really all that matters. So, E3, I don't miss you. I miss parts of you, but this new world, I think, is giving us a reason to be excited.
All right, so I don't need to mention really any of the games. There is one RTS game that's coming out. It's called Stormgate, and it's by some former Blizzard devs. That's got a little bit of hype. Other than that, it was just a whole slew of indie games. No blue hair involved, just straight indies. Yep. And a lot of them looked good. The theme of PC gaming right now by far is survival games. Yeah. Everybody wants to be like Valheim, or everybody wants to be like the other survival
Green
games.
Green Hell is the other one that I know of.
The Forest is another one.
Yeah, I think Green Hell's coming out to PSVR 2 very, very soon as well.
So a very significant chunk of these games had those elements to them, and it's a little annoying when PC games do the Me Too thing and everybody jumps on the bandwagon.
Oh yeah.
And then the other thing that everybody's jumping on is the card battler trend as well.
Been on that one. Yeah, they've been making those games for a while now.
A long while.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I was actually kind of happy. Just of the quantity of games. None of them was like, oh, I cannot wait for this to come out. But it was like, cool. The PC gaming is healthy. There's lots of stuff on the way, and I'll check out some of it. I wish listed like 40 different things on my Steam profile. So.
And I know there was a Capcom show. I briefly paid attention to it. They talked a little bit more of that Path of the Goddess game that's coming out. I don't know if it's. I still don't know if it's exclusive to Xbox or not, or if they said it, I didn't pay attention to it. But that game looks great. And then Street Fighter 6 is out, so they were kind of like selling you on more things like that. No new Monster Hunter news, which I was bummed out about.
People were thinking this is the year for that. Yeah,
yes, but that'll happen, and when it happens, I'll be there, ready to brutally murder monsters and steal their skin for my clothes.
Okay, so let me. So one more thing about that show is that they did a bit on Baldur's Gate, and specifically, I guess in this new Baldur's Gate that's coming out, you're going to be able to run through the city of Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
and that's the sort of a reveal, and they hyped that. And then Baldur's Gate already had a release date, but they reinforced the release date. It's August 31st. And that leads me to my 30-second rant. So we started this series of episodes talking about Zelda and me not playing Zelda. All right. August 25th, Armored Core 6 comes out. Okay, that's a From Software game. That's going to be a must-play game for everybody because their pedigree is so good now.
Yes,
From Soft.
for sure.
5 freaking days later, Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, August 31st.
Oh, boy.
So, and that, the original Baldur's Gate series is in my top 4 probably of favorite game series ever.
Yeah.
Played it, put hundreds of hours into it, and it's amazing.
They are universally beloved by fans of that stuff, for sure.
6 days after that, on September 6th, Starfield comes out. So in a span of 10 days, you've got Armored Core, you've got Starfield, and then you've got Baldur's Gate 3 smashed in between them. What the hell am I going to do?
Probably not play any of them. Is sadly going to be the truth to it, but maybe you can pick one and enjoy one.
I'll find some indie game. It takes 3 hours.
Well, we have talked about the great success that was that Xbox show and others, but man, you know what? It deserves it again. It just deserves it one more time.
Video games, woo woo! Woo!
Now, I honestly couldn't. And we'll close with this party light going on here, but I never would have guessed that of all the stuff that's going on for the Summer Games E3 replacement system, that I would be most jazzed for the Xbox One, and yet here we are.
I actually have a little bit like actual anxiety because it was hard enough keeping up with PC and PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now Microsoft is bringing things to the party as well. That's great for the party, the sense of the party. Not so great for Daddy's obsession with getting all the trophies in every game and playing them till exhaustion.
I forgot. Yeah, you are in for a world of pain with that stuff.
Yeah, it's bad, Brian. It's going bad.
Just put that addiction aside and take up heroin. I mean, it's gonna be a net gain for your health. I'm assuming.
That's good. Look forward to the follow-up episodes.
Yeah,
where
Robbie's
my
skin
heroin
is very itchy. Okay, well, I think that's enough on this one. Thank you so much for joining us on this celebratory. Can you believe that Xbox show, huh? So, we never say this. You should maybe like and subscribe. And if you could, please and thank you, maybe tell a friend about this show. Yeah. And then maybe that friend tells a friend, and who knows, maybe we can get this guy right here some more time to play more games because this takes off. But who knows?
He needs it.
Daddy needs it. So, gentleman's handshake.
All right.
Let's go over the top.
Over the top this time? Oh, it's like an airplane.
Okay.
Unboxing, of course. Ew. Plastic one. Not our favorite around here. Here we go. Big ass CD. Ow! Big ass CD. The Laserdisc difference, of course. So in the movie, there's like these hoverboard guys from the other planet where McCloud is from, and they go and they chase him around. And I thought that was pretty cool because in the first Highlander, it was mainly like sword decapitations and stuff, and then this one has that also in addition, but really what breaks it up is like things like the hoverboards, and also in the quickening, they're the hoverboard guys, they do this like really like spooky bad guy laugh where it's like oh, 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 oh. I gotta take it easy. So, you know, like it's good. Probably like I don't know, like 200 out of 10, I think. Would probably be my review fairly. Although it's not as good as Highlander 1, of course, but I mean that's almost like should be expected. I haven't eaten yet today, and I need to eat before I can take my pain medication. So, like and subscribe. Laserdisc fan. I love you. And we'll see you on the next one. Oh.